Drawn to the promise of freedom and opportunity, or driven from their countries by war or hunger, immigrants have shaped the fabric of the United States since its beginning. 1 in 4 people living in America today is an immigrant or the child of an immigrant.
The U.S. takes in around 1 million people a year out of a backlog of 4 million applicants. And 2/3 of those fall under the family reunification category, making it possible for close family to relocate. The remaining third are individuals sponsored by employers, granted political asylum, or chosen by lottery.
But beneath these simple fractions is a maze of complicated quotas, shifting criteria, and unknowable timelines. Someone from a country with relatively few immigrants might wait 7 years for a green card, while a person from the Philippines or Mexico, which have millions of applicants, could wait 20 years. The system is complicated, confusing, and uncertain.
This uncertainty in itself contributes to the problem of unauthorized immigration. An estimated 11 million people in the U.S. moved here without authorization or stayed on after their visas expired. Most undocumented immigrants work and live their lives in the shadows. Some marry American citizens or have children who are citizens but are never able to fix their own status.
While most Americans agree that our immigration policies need to be updated, there's little agreement about what should be done. How do we decide who deserves a chance to become an American?
Do we have a moral obligation to take in more refugees who will otherwise lose their lives to war or starvation? How do we deal with undocumented immigrants in a way that's humane but also fair to the many who are waiting to enter legally?
The following options reflect 3 very different ways of seeing the problem.
Each would take a different approach.
And each approach has distinct drawbacks and trade-offs that need to be considered.
So let's look at the options.
Option 1. Welcome immigrants. Be a beacon of freedom.
Option 1 says, immigration has helped make America a dynamic and diverse culture, an engine of the global economy, and a beacon of freedom around the world. It says our immigration policies should build on that tradition by welcoming newcomers, helping immigrant families stay together, and protecting those fleeing war and oppression.
Welcoming immigrants is not only the right thing to do, it benefits our culture and economy, but there are drawbacks to this. Our public systems are already overloaded, and isn't it our first obligation to those who are already here? Can we live with that?
Option 2. Enforce the law. Be fair to those who follow the rules.
This option says we need a fair immigration system where the rules are clear and the laws are enforced. With long lines of people who are waiting to come to America legally, we have an obligation to enforce our borders and deport people who entered the country without our permission and vetting.
We should strengthen border security and find and deport anyone who isn't here legally. But doing this would be expensive and difficult, and we will be harming millions of people now living in our communities and contributing to our society. Are we willing to accept that?
Option 3. Slow down and rebuild our common bonds.
This option recognizes that newcomers have strengthened American culture in the past, but the current levels of immigration are so high and the country is now so diverse that we must regain our sense of national identity.
We need to slow the rate of immigration and require that immigrants become part of the American community. But in many cases, immigrants are more grateful for the freedoms and opportunities of this nation than the people who were born here. We would lose much of that energy and hard work people from around the world bring to the United States. Can we live with this?
These 3 options are very different, but each one protects something we all value deeply, and each has trade-offs.
By deliberating together, we can work through difficult choices and find some common ground for action.
So, Let's start talking.